So it looks like we're finding out more details as to why Peter Thomas may have been drinking at the time of his DUI arrest. More details are coming out from Radar Online in regards to a recent lawsuit that he lost when it pertains to his restaurant, Bar One in Miami. Apparently, it's no more. Not only that, Real Housewives of Atlanta star Sheree Whitfield is talking about the shakeup happening in Atlanta, and she sounds a little bit worried on whether or not she will be returning. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So you know that we've been talking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta reboot for months now. Since our friends over at lovebscott.com dropped their exclusive, there's been a lot of speculation on whether or not a reboot has coming. Since then, all signs lead to a reboot happening. Many of the cast members have since spoken out saying, yes, there's a shakeup coming. Yes, we don't know what's happening. Yes, we haven't received a contract yet. Candy confirmed it. Even Andy Cohen at BravoCon confirmed that there could be tweaks that needs to happen over at Atlanta. Well, now in a new interview, Sheree Whitfield is confirming that they are going to do some sort of shakeup, but she sounds a little worried. Even Tamara Judge says, well, you have nothing to worry about. And of course, Sheree, humana, Whitfield sounds a little worried.
Are there any rumblings as to what next season might look like?
We're still waiting to hear. I think they're doing some casting, and it's going to be a little shakeup, which I'm okay with. I think it's needed.
Well, you don't have anything to worry about.
I hope not.
You don't. No way.
Sheree, you should be worried because we have said countless times that I was okay with Sheree coming back a couple of seasons ago. But when she came back, it just felt like nothing there. And then last season, she gave us this very fake relationship, which, according to Melody Rogers, she confirmed on this latest part of their reunion that in court documents, Martell confirmed that this was just a relationship of business. But we already knew that. We're not dumb. Look.
Lies! The lie!
Okay?
Receipts! Proof! Timeline! Screenshots! Means everything!
Like, we didn't even need all that. We could have told you this from their little, overproduced scenes. But even before that, them trying to take photos and then inviting Freddie O to take those photos for them, like paparazzi, allegedly. We already knew. So Sheree sounds concerned because this is a major platform for Sheree and she by someone else. And we already told you a lot of what we saw in these last couple of seasons with Sheree, her Tyrone storyline fell through. So she was like, all right, I'm going to relaunch She by Sheree. We shall see what Sheree decides to do after Atlanta. No confirmation on who or what will be returning for this reboot. But we have heard, according to our friends at lovebscott.com, in their initial report, that they're looking to sprinkle some people that are already there with a bunch of new people. Very much like what we've seen on the Real Housewives of Miami. And that seemed to have worked. You also may recall during our recent stop over at Heather McDonald's Juicy Scoop, we dropped some tea in regards to possibly a new housewife was at BravoCon for Atlanta. If you missed that interview, be sure to head on over to Juicy Scoop with Heather McDonald, and you can see when I dropped by there a couple of months ago. Speaking of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, last night we did a special TGIF Live. If you missed that, be sure to check it out because we covered a bunch of hot topics, including Peter Thomas getting arrested last week for DUI, which is so irresponsible. I just want to remind people how irresponsible that is. And it only takes one time for something to happen and we could be reporting on a completely different story. So initially, this is what TMZ reported in regards to this DUI. I just want to remind you, they said that poor Cynthia, ex-husband Peter Thomas has been arrested for DUI. TMZ has confirmed, according to the docs obtained by TMZ, officers in Atlanta say that they spotted Peter weaving without tags on his SUV last week. So they followed him, claiming that he blew through a red light after exiting the interstate. Blew through a red light. PD then pulled him over and say they detected a strong odor of alcoholic beverage coming from his car and said Peter had watery, glassy, and bloodshot eyes. After some field sobriety tests, Peter was placed under arrest for DUI. They say he agreed to a blood test, but when he and the cops arrived at the hospital, they say he changed his mind. So they initially brought him to the Cobb Adult Detention Center, but he was denied due to blood pressure. So he was brought back to the hospital and was left with the staff. Well, now Radar Online is reporting that this might be the reason why Peter Thomas was drinking and driving. You know, he's had and faced a lot of accusations related to his Bar 1 restaurant and bar, all right, in his multiple locations. His location, I believe, in the DMV has closed down. He blamed the DMV for why it closed. Go check out our recent reports in regards to that. Well, according to Radar Online, it looks like Bar 1 in Miami also is closed. You remember the same bar where we had that really triggering scene with the Real Housewives of Potomac cast and Mia hitting Dr. Wendy Asefo? This might be your karma, because the way that you were trying to be messy and getting involved in this show. So according to Radar Online, this is former Real Housewives of Atlanta star Cynthia Bailey's ex-husband, Peter Thomas, Miami restaurant lost an eviction lawsuit only days before he was arrested. According to court documents obtained by Radar Online, on December 26, a Florida judge granted a default judgment against Thomas Bar Restaurant, Bar 1. So did he not show up to court? Because they said it's the default judgment. We'll continue. Bar 1 was sued by its landlords, Bentley Bay Retail, over alleged unpaid rent and fees. Sound familiar? This is not the first time that we've reported on Peter Thomas not paying his rent. And I remember in the initial one, I believe it was the DMV location, where he said that he was using the money that he made in Miami to pay that rent. It's a mess. Thomas claimed that he was working on handling the debt, but the landlord said the money never came through. Thomas agreed to cough up $505,000. He said that he would provide proof of a wire transfer by December 26. At the hearing on December 26, the judge granted Bentley Bay's request to evict Bar 1 after Thomas failed to send the proof of a wire being sent. Any right of tenant or any other person claiming by or through tenant to occupy the commercial real property located at 520 West Avenue, Unit Commercial 1, Miami Beach, Florida 33139, the premises, is hereby terminated. The order read, landlord is hereby awarded possession of the premises. I guess it really is bar none, because is there any bar ones open at this point? Like Miami was like his last one. So per the order, the court issued a writ of possession directing the county sheriff and or city police department to remove all persons and personal property forthwith from the premises and put the landlord in possession of it. The judge noted that the landlord may sue Peter Thomas personally for damages. The court said Bar 1 had been instructed to place all funds owed to the landlord in an account controlled by the court. The defendant indicated that it would wire transfer the funds by today's date at 4:30 p.m. and provide proof that the funds were being transferred. The defendant has failed to do so, the order read. Thomas has run Bar 1 since 2019. The company stopped posting on social media in October of last year. Radar reminds us in 2022, Bentley Bay sued Bar 1 for eviction after it failed to pay rent and other fees related to the waterfront location. The landlord said the Bar 1 agreed to pay $270,000 to avoid being kicked out. The agreement hashed out by parties had a provision that stated if any checks submitted by Bar 1 were returned for insufficient funds, the deal would be void. So in 2022 lawsuit, the landlord claimed Bar 1 had sent multiple payments that were returned for lack of funds. The company said that $250,000 had grown to $422,000 by the time they filed the lawsuit. Thomas denied all allegations of wrongdoing and said that he agreed to pay the debt. However, months later, Bentley Bay claimed that Thomas had failed to pay $470,000 he agreed to cough up. The landlord said it was tired of waiting and asked that it be allowed to evict Bar 1. So all of this played out right before Peter Thomas's DUI arrest. Radar Online says that they reported on Tuesday that he was arrested for alleged DUI in Georgia. The businessman was released after posting a $3,000 bond. So technically, he only had to give them, what, $300 for that? Anyways, according to jail records reviewed by Radar Online, Thomas's misdemeanor charges include driving under the influence of alcohol, driving with expired tags, driving without a license, no proof of insurance, failure to maintain lane, and violation of a traffic control device. We have been reporting and following Peter Thomas's downfall over the last couple of years. I'm not surprised that now Bar 1 in Miami is also closed. Ain't no good gonna come to you. You know, Peter has been going around on these social media streets and on reality TV, getting involved in the mess and acting like he is the best when it seems like you're not. And you're not the best at business. And I really tried to be like, okay, he's done this for years. He looked like he was having a successful run after Real Housewives of Atlanta. But I guess that run is up. I wonder what Peter Thomas will do next, because I can't imagine anyone or anything would want to partner with Peter in regards to a business. At least Dr. Wendy missed a bullet. Can you imagine her getting involved with Peter at this point in regards to some sort of restaurant? She really did dodge a bullet. She really did. Guys, as always, I want to know your reaction to Sheree being a little nervous about whether or not she will be involved in the RHOA reboot, and your reaction to Peter Thomas and him losing another bar none. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.
You bring the lighter, I got the fuse. You make a fire.